Okay, looks like. Okay, looks like we're on. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. Tonight, we will have 8 public hearings, 6 actually, 2 are adjourned on the agenda utilizing the Zoom webinar application. We will have the applicants joining us to present their application to the board and answer any questions. Following the presentation, we will individually call upon members of the public who have registered to speak regarding this application. Individuals be promoted from an attendee to a panelist in order to voice their comments. This hearing is also being live streamed on the Town of Babylon YouTube channel. Following the presentation, the public hearing will be closed. The record for the matter shall remain open for a minimum of 7 days. As long as the record is open, any member of the public who did not register to participate in tonight's Zoom meeting can provide comments on the application by email or regular mail. Okay. So before we begin, there are 2 applications that are going to be adjourned this evening. Number 4 on our agenda, application 22006, property located in West Babylon, is going to be, it's going to be redone. It's going to be redone and reposted. It's not going to be adjourned. It's going to be redone, reposted, and they'll have to come back in new application. And the same thing on number 6, application 22004, property located in Lindenhurst. That will be the same thing. They're going to need to submit new plans, so the whole application is going to have to be redone and reposted. Okay.
Okay, are you ready for the first application?
I'm ready for the first application.
Okay,
We're
we
ready
have-
for the first application.
ZBA case number 22-009, Daryl Anderson. I have Ryan Griffin here. I'm going to promote him to a panelist to present the application. Okay, he's been promoted. He just needs to unmute himself to address the board.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right, great.
Okay. I need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure, it's Ryan Griffin, and the address is 245 Route 109, Suite D in West Babylon, New York.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I do.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 14th, 2022. Department of Environmental Conservation memo dated February 2nd, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Michael Scalise dated January 14th, 2021. A tax map acting as an area map. And anything else?
Photos here as well.
Okay. All right. What would you like to tell us about the application?
We're just currently seeking permission to diminish the front yard setback from 30 to 18 feet. It's an existing front porch with a metal overhang. The dwelling has a front yard setback of only 25. And the existing porch encroaches an additional 7 feet into the front yard. And the awning just goes around the whole front porch. And they have no intention of enclosing that awning at all. It's just an overhang. And it was built as long as the guy can remember. But from what I gather, I started using GIS viewer, and the most from what I can see, it's built prior to 2001.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Rigney.
Good evening. Quick question for you. What triggered you to come in for this variance tonight?
I'm helping the applicants try to, I believe they put in this application a while ago, and they were having trouble kind of going through all this process, and they didn't understand kind of the variance proceedings. So I decided to help them out, and I work for Captain Permit. So we're the expediting company that's working with them.
Okay. Did they plan on selling the house, or are they remaining there?
They do plan on selling it, but I don't have all the details on that, but I do know that they do plan on selling it in the future.
Okay. As long as they agree that we do not further enclose the front porch, I have no other questions, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, any other questions from the board? Katie, we have anybody?
We have no one registered for this application.
Okay, so we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for 7 days, and you will get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming in.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You
You
too.
too.
Okay, bye.
Okay, we have the second application, number 22-003, Caitlin and Michael Luz. I have Caitlin here. I'm going to promote her to a panelist. Okay, Caitlin, you've been promoted. You just need to unmute.
Okay. Hello.
Hey, how are you? I need your name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Caitlin Luce, 706 Carlton Road, West Babylon, New York, 11704.
And do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 14th, 2022. Department of Environmental Conservation memo dated February 2nd, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have a survey by Michael Scalise dated April 26, 2013. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
We also have some more photos.
okay. What would you like to tell us about your application?
So this application is to maintain a front porch and to install rear pavers in the backyard as a patio. So right now for the front porch, we were asking for permission to diminish the front setback from 30 feet to 23 feet, diminish the east side from 10 feet to 4.7 feet, and diminish the total side yards from 25 feet to 17.5 feet. And with the addition of the rear patio, it would increase the total building area from 30% to 38.4%, which would be over by 337 square feet.
Okay, thank you. I'll turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
All right, so did you purchase the property with the front porch?
We actually rebuilt it. So we had, it wasn't as large, but we had a front porch. Unfortunately, it was collapsing. So we had to rebuild it. At the time, I guess we were a little bit naive, a little bit ignorant. The builder told us we didn't need the permit right away, that we could get it later on. But now that I've gone through this process, I understand that you do need the permit. And I do apologize for not getting that to begin with.
That's okay. And the pool, so it's semi in-ground?
The pool that we have the permit for will be an in-ground pool.
An in-ground pool. So you have the necessary required fencing to go up as well?
Yes, we are putting fencing around the pool to make it legal. Yes.
Okay. And if we approve this application, do you agree to not further enclose the front porch?
Yes, we have no plans at all to enclose it.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Katie, we have anybody?
We have no one registered for this application.
Okay, so we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We're going to keep the record open for 7 days in case anybody else wants to comment based on the fact that we're doing Zoom meetings. And we thank you for coming in tonight, and you'll get the decision in the mail.
Okay, thank you so much. So do I leave now or do I stay for the whole meeting?
No, you can stay. You can leave
Okay,
unless you have nothing else to do.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You
Good
too.
night.
Goodbye.
Okay, next we have application number 3, ZBA case number 22-8, Michael Cabazzulli. I have both his representative and Michael here. I'm going to promote them both to panelists. Okay, I have Ross here. He's the representative for the applicant.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hey, how you doing? Name and address for the record, please.
Sure. Chris Ross, Long Island Perfect Permits, 124 Front Street, Suite 205, Massapequa Park, New York, 11762.
Okay, do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 15th, 2022. Department of Environmental Control memo dated February 2nd, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated February 8th. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Then we have a survey by William Hogan dated August 24th, 2021. We have that same survey showing the proposed in-ground pool. Same date, August 24th, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Photos.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Good evening. So the application was filed for a proposed 18 by 32 free-form in-ground pool and to maintain an existing pergola, hot tub, shed, and block patio. The shed does not meet the side yard setback of 2 feet. The shed maintains a 0.6 foot setback. The shed was installed in 2020 and is located on the west side of the property. The abutting neighbor doesn't have any issues with the shed's location. Because of the existing patio, shed, pergola, and the size of the house, the proposed pool will exceed the allowable 30% lot coverage by 12% for a total of 42%. There will not be any pavers, additional pavers are installed around the pool. The pool will be enclosed by a 6-foot fence. All gates will open out, self-close, and self-lock, and the required safety pool and door alarms will also be installed. My client purchased the home in 2019, and there was an existing concrete patio and deck already existing in the same location as the block patio. The concrete patio and wood deck were in extremely poor condition, so my client replaced them with the current block patio. The patio was installed with bluestone and sand based and a sand base to allow for the maximum water drainage. With still a lot of uncertainty in the world, my client has decided to invest in and improve his home by adding these improvements for the enjoyment of his family. My client has spoken to most of the abutting neighbors and don't have any opposition for this, for these variances being granted.
Thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Dellavecchia.
Good evening. So when you guys put in the pavers around the property, you guys kept with the same footprint of the concrete patio that was there when you bought the house in 2019?
Yes,
Okay. And the shed was there too, or you put that in 2020?
the shed was installed. These were all done, as COVID was starting to come down. So that's when they started to do this work in the backyard.
Okay. And would you agree to move the shed to a conforming location if you ever had to take it down and rebuild it or get another one?
If that's the case, then I don't think that should be an issue.
Okay. Would you guys be able to remove some of the pavers and decrease the lot coverage a little bit?
My client's wife has severe allergies, and so they were trying to eliminate as much of the grass in the backyard. Obviously, we're coming to the board for this relief. And so we're just trying to maintain what's already existing for the last 2 years. The pool's not increasing. We're not adding any pavers for the pool. It's just the remaining pavers that are there now.
So no decking is going to go around the pool either?
That's correct.
Nothing? Okay. All right. I have no further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Katie, we have anybody?
For the record, we do have one applicant registered. I do not see them in the waiting room. We also have what appears to be the homeowner. I don't know if he wishes to speak,
Oh, Mr.
but he was registered and he is promoted as a panelist. Chris, do you know if they wanted to participate in the Zoom or they just wanted to listen?
I'm not sure he wanted to speak. I think he was just wanted to, view
Listen.
the presentation.
Okay.
That's fine. All right, so we're going to, that somebody registered, Katie, but we don't have them, right?
They registered, but they are not in the waiting room. So
Okay. So and we're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for 7 days. Since we're doing Zoom meetings, you will get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming down tonight.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, the next application would be number 521-235. I do not see them in the waiting room. So if the board's okay, I see the 7th application, 2117 Thomas Galgano, ready to be heard.
Number 4 was adjourned, so we should move on to the next one.
Yeah, no, 4 was adjourned. Number 5 wasn't adjourned, though, so we skipped over 4.
4 was adjourned, 5 is not in the waiting room yet. So
Okay.
we'd like to move on, and then 6
Yeah,
is
6 is
adjourned.
adjourned. Okay.
So I have the number
Hurry up.
7. Is that okay with the board to promote them?
Yes, it is. That's
Okay,
fine.
I'm gonna
Wouldn't think
promote
so.
Brian Burson and Thomas Galgano to panelists to address the board. Okay, Mr. Burson, you've been promoted to panelist. You just need to unmute to address the board. I'm also going to promote the homeowner, Thomas Galgano.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, my video doesn't seem to have gone on. Oh wait, let me just unclick that. Okay, I
On
think you
now.
can hear me.
Okay. Need your name and address for the record, please?
My name is Brian Burson of the Burson Firm PC, 3 Bryans Court, West Islip, New York, 11795, representing Thomas Galgano.
You affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 17th, 2022. DEC memo dated February 2nd, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Hold on a second, we're a little out of order here. Survey by Michael Scalise dated July 16th, 2018. I have the right one, Stratmore Drive, yes, okay. Tax map acting as an area map. And
You also have some photos as well.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. Thomas Galgano resides at 10 Strathmore Drive in North Babylon. He's seeking to build a detached garage at the rear of his property. It would be 864 square feet. There was no objection by the neighbor who lives at 12 Strathmore. The neighbor to the south of his property is the North Babylon High School. In particular, the soccer field. In between the soccer field and 10 Strathmore is a wooded area that's fenced off from the high school as well, filled with trees, vines, bushes, etc. On March 25th, 2021, we came to this board and we requested relief to produce a larger structure. We used the zoning board's comments to amend the application. We researched previous variances through FOIL applications. It took several months to receive that information. We found several garages and other structures built that exceeded the 864 square feet that we are seeking today. As I said, with regard to the rear variance on the southern portion of the property, the neighbor is the high school and the garage would not be visible from the high school. And the variance does not impact the neighborhood's character. It doesn't impact anyone. The benefit cannot be achieved through other methods other than building this because Tom owns several cars, which he's hoping to keep off the street. Parking them in that area is sort of an attractive nuisance. We want to remove the temptation for mischief, vandalism, and theft. We believe that the variance is not substantial. It's 864 square feet on a lot that is 24,287.95 feet, which is approximately 3.5%. And it doesn't impact the neighborhood in a negative way. And we're happy to answer any of your questions.
Okay, I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
So let me just start with, you said you did research and you found other 2 car detached that were larger.
Well, we found several structures. One of them was a combination of a garage and an increase to the other structure, the house on the property. Another was a garage that was 866.9 square feet. Another was a combination of two garages that were adjacent to one another. The total of the two adjacent garages was 941 square feet. And there were several pre-code amendment garages, which were much larger.
Okay, so pre-code doesn't really count. I'm sorry, John, go ahead.
That's all right. I didn't hear what he said. That's what I was just going to ask. These were attached garages, not detached?
I believe they were all they were detached.
Okay, you believed. Okay. So not much has changed since the last time you were here on March 25th?
In what regard?
Your application.
Well, the previous application was for a garage that was in excess of 1,000 square feet, but we incorporated the zoning board's comments and substantially reduced it to be smaller than other garages that we found.
Okay.
Have you submitted those to, I'm sorry, John.
Go right ahead, Mickey.
Have you submitted those previous, and these were approved by this board, those previous
That
applications?
was my question.
There were 3 approvals that we submitted. The other ones, as you noted, were pre-code, but I submitted all 7 examples in the materials to the board.
Mr. Chairman, the cases he's discussing are addressed in the planning memo.
Okay.
I have no further questions at this time, Mickey.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Wasn't this originally a 3-car too, 3-bay garage as opposed to a 2-bay, if I'm not mistaken? I could be.
Bear with me just one moment here. The original application was for 2 bays.
At over 1,000 square feet.
Yes, sir. It was the original application I have here was seeking an increase from 500 square feet to 1,056 square feet, and it would have 2 bays. But
Those are large bays,
pardon me?
pretty large bays.
Twice the allowable size the other one was. I mean, and this is somewhat less, but still quite it's a big increase over, what's allowed, 500 square feet. It is substantial. You said it wasn't, but it is.
Well, the examples that we submitted in our supplemental memorandum, we found one garage was 866.9 square feet, and the 2 garages that were adjacent to one another, the total area of the 2 garages was 941 square feet. Okay. There was another application where there had been approved construction of a detached 2-car garage in conjunction with other construction on the property. The total increase was 880 square feet. Wow, that was the total construction.
That included the resident, not just the garage.
Yes, I believe that's right.
Okay. And let me just add or ask, this is on top of the existing garage that you have there is a 1-car or a 2-car?
I don't know the answer to that question. I see Tom Galgano is available. He can probably answer that. He's on the line, but his microphone is muted.
Yeah, he has been promoted to panelist. If he wants to address the board, he can unmute.
But that current garage is no longer going to be a garage. It's part of the house, and it's going to be converted into living space.
And we've applied for an application for that?
Part of the application is to convert the attached garage into a spa room with hot tub.
Thank you.
I see Tom's microphone has been unmuted.
Well, the question's been answered. So.
Okay. Any other questions? Any other questions from the board?
No.
Katie, is there anybody here on this one?
We have nobody registered to speak, just Mr. Galgano, if you would like to address the board.
Mr. Galgano, would you like to address us?
If you have any questions for me, I'm here to answer for them, but I just really need a little bit more space for my vehicles and my lawn equipment. It's not really working out for me, the garage that I have now, so I would really like to get those plans approved.
Okay. All right, so the existing garage then is going to be converted to living space.
Yes,
basically.
it doesn't even really face the right direction within my driveway. It's very inconvenient for me, so I'd rather just convert it into living space.
Okay. All right.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, can we just have Mr. Galgano's name and address for the record?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I need your name and address for the record, please.
Thomas Galgano, 10 Strathmore Drive, North Babylon.
Okay. And do you affirm to tell the truth?
11703.
Do you
Yes.
affirm to tell the truth, or what you told us was the truth?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
No problem.
Last year, we did have one neighbor testify that he was in favor of the application.
okay. All right, we're going to close the hearing. We're going to reserve decision. We will keep the record open for 7 days since we're doing Zoom meetings. For any further comments from anybody that wants to make any comments on the application, and you'll get the decision in the mail. Thanks for coming in tonight, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, if the board is okay, we have the fifth application, 21-235 for 20 Barrington Drive. I have Richard Chabosky here to represent the applicant. I will promote him to panelist so he can address the board. Okay, he's been promoted. He just needs to unmute himself to address the board.
There we go.
There you go. You hear me now?
Yes, we can. Need your name and
Thank you.
address for the record, please.
Sure. Richard Tripakowski, TRPICOVSKY, agent for the applicant.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, so we have a planning division, planning memo dated February 15, 2022. Environmental control memo dated February 12th, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have a survey by PJM Land Surveying dated July 29th, 2021. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Also some more photos.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. The homeowner is looking to increase the size of the home to make it more conducive to the family needs. The front yard relief is minimal. The FAR relief also seems reasonable and fits the characteristics of the neighborhood. The homeowner is a nurse and has two elderly parents that she intends to be their caretaker. They're quite ill. The rear extension will provide a personal space for them. They have no desire to have an accessory apartment, and there will be only one kitchen. This area is what is being called the guest area, is actually for the parents, what they're planning. The planning department is in question of two separate cellars. I have discussed this with the homeowner as well as the engineer. The home is on a slab with the exception of a small cellar used as the boiler room. And to extend that to there's really no practical way to connect it to the new addition. So the second cellar would be for storage only, and the only practical access would be for the rear proposed entry.
Okay, so there's no way to access that cellar, or could be accessed through the home?
No, not with when I talked to the architect, the engineer, as well as the homeowner, there's really no practical way. The other cellar they're speaking of is just a small, it's for the boiler room, hot water heater, and it's a slab, so to cross, you'd have to create literally a tunnel to get over to the other side.
Okay, and the need for the cellar here is just storage?
Storage, yes, they want to have storage space because there's nothing down in the cellar they have now. It's basically a slab except for where the boiler room is.
So what type of entrance are they looking to put in? Is this going to be just like Belco doors so that you can get stuff in and out?
Yeah, it was an outside cellar entryway. Give me 1 second. Let me just double check what it is. I'm sorry. Yeah, it was what was on the plans, but it's basically just the storage down there. And again, they have no intentions of an accessory apartment. They don't want it. They're very family oriented and they just want to take care of their family. They really do not want an accessory apartment. All they're looking for is something where they can take care of their parents. She's a nurse and that they can have storage area below it. That's the purpose of the expansion of the building. They want to stay where they're living. They don't want to have to move, but they want to make it conducive to their family.
Okay, understood. But back to my question. So would the cellar entrance or could the cellar entrance be simply Bilco doors as opposed to a regular whole entrance?
I have to go to another table where it's much larger. I'm sorry, because these plans are large. Let me double check that. Do you mind? Give me 1 sec.
Sure.
So sorry. I'll be with you 1 sec.
It just looks like stairs.
No, it is a walk down cellar entrance to it. I'm sorry.
Okay. Could it be just Bilco doors?
If that's what was required, we would be acceptable to that.
Okay. All right. Any other questions from the board? Katie, we have anybody?
For the record, we do have one person registered for this application. However, I do not see them in the waiting room.
Okay. So I am going to close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for 1 week for any further comments from anybody due to the Zoom meeting, and you will get the approval. You'll get the decision in the mail. Okay.
Hopefully they approve. I like that.
Yeah, I caught myself.
All right. Thank you very much. So we'll
right,
get
have a
something in the mail in a week or so. I
Yeah.
appreciate
Well, we
that.
can't-
Appreciate your time.
Okay, you got it. Take care.
Thank you so much. Have a great night.
You too. Take care. Where we going? Number 8, is that where we're going, Katie?
We're on number 8. However, I do not see them in the waiting room just yet.
6:35. All right. Not ahead anyway.
Board, want to just move on to the extension of time application on page 6?
Yeah, let's move on, please.
There's an extension of time application. It's 20-086. The property is located in West Babylon. This is the 3rd extension of time.
Okay, I make a motion to approve the 3rd extension of time for application number 20-086.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good.
Just want to continue through until we have the Izumi representative.
Yeah, I would say so. We have all of last week's to go through, right?
Correct. So if you'd like, the board would like to move on to page 7 of the agenda, excuse me. The application is 21-201, Michael Mara. And I believe we are still waiting for the architect to submit a new plot plan, but there's been nothing new submitted, correct? What, Katie?
Correct.
Okay, so we're still waiting for that. On to the bottom of page 7 and the top of page 8, the application is 21-26A and B. This is M&R Property Builders. We have been advised that the rental board has received an application, but they are now waiting to set up the next steps with that. So we have nothing further other than that the rental application has at least been submitted on this application. So the board will continue to hold. Moving on to the bottom of page 8, the application is 21-230 Jose Mata. This is in West Babylon. So the board will recall that there were a number of residents who appeared to speak in regards to this application. We understand from code enforcement that there are some open violations and they're waiting for an internal inspection. I don't know if planning has anything additional to add to that.
I do not, just for the board. And I see that the applicant for Izumi Best is here. I don't know if you want to wait until you finish this yet, but they are sending us a chat.
Good. Let's continue on and finish this up, all right?
Yes. Moving on to page 9 of the application. The application is 21-226 Dominic Panetta. This application is located in Lindenhurst. This was the request for the metal carport. I recall the board was persuaded by some of the testimony that was received. However, we have some issues with the standards and the construction of the carport. I believe it's been recommended to have the applicant come in and meet with planning and building to discuss these concerns regarding the construction and whether or not they would be able to be approved should the board grant the variances. So if the board would like, we would continue to hold and allow that meeting to take place.
Yeah, that'd be good. Thank you.
Yeah.
Moving on to page 10, the application is 21-237. This is Patterson Brothers LTD, and we are also waiting for a new site plan to either legalize or remove the storage containers. But I don't believe anything new has been received on this.
Nope.
Continue to hold. Moving on to the bottom of page 10, the application is 21-245 Williams Econom. It's located in North Babylon. There was only the recommendation from planning that if approved, the board would impose a condition that the garage not be converted to habitable space.
John?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 21-4245 with the condition that the garage not be converted to living space.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving on to page 11, these are applications that were heard at our last meeting on February 10th. So the next one is 21-248 Long Island Housing Partnership. Planning had recommended if the board were to approve, it impose a condition that the garage not be converted to habitable space. I might have covered that twice. But
This is a new development. It probably has all the standard CNRs.
I'm sorry, I believe that the recommendation was to impose the standard CNRs in this case.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 21-248 with the condition that the garage not be converted to habitable space, and it's subject to all the conditions, subject to conditions that the building and planning put together.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I believe it was Mr. Delabec. Yeah. Moving on to 22-001 Kathy Leach. This property is located in Deer Park. Planning had recommended a condition that if approved, the front and second story deck not be enclosed above or below. Property is located in Deer Park.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 22-001 with the condition that the front and second story deck not be further enclosed above or below.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And moving on to page 12, the application is 21-244, Christopher and Madeline Neary. This property is located in West Babylon. Planning is recommending that should the application be approved, that there be a condition that if the above ground pool and or rear deck are ever taken down or replaced, they are rebuilt in a conforming location and that the front porch not be enclosed.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application number 21-244 with the condition that the ground pool and or rear deck are ever down or replaced, they are rebuilt in a conforming location and the front porch not be enclosed.
Second. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
21-247, the application of Henry Schwab. Property is located in Deer Park. There are no recommended conditions.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 21-247.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to page 13, the application is 21-243, Marie Cardoza. The board will recall that there were numerous people that attended this hearing to speak and express their concerns. There, I believe, are new plans that still need to be reviewed that have been received, and so we are waiting for an updated memo that advises the board what the new plans are.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, I just have to revise the setbacks. They submitted new plans removing the side yard deck and everything that they said they would do, they do. I just need to write you a memo on the new setbacks.
Thanks, Rich.
Moving on to the bottom of page 13, the application is 21-246 DCC Realty. And the board will recall that there was communication and concerns from code enforcement regarding possible violations of CNRs. So council would request that the board continue to please hold this application so we can have an internal meeting with all departments concerned to make sure everyone's on the same page.
So moved.
Moving on to page 14, the application is A1 Collision Specialist 21-149. And it was recommended that should the board wish to approve the application, it only have an approval period of 6 months, as there needed to be proper permits for a spray booth obtained.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve application 21-149 for a period of 6 months to ensure the spray booths get proper permits.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And finally, would you like to go back before we get to correspondence to hear the last application, Mr. Chairman?
Okay. Sounds good.
Returning to page 5, and the application is number 822002.
Okay, it's for Azumi Best. I have Brian Kennedy here. I'm going to promote him to panelist so he can address the board.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. I apologize for that. I was signed into the meeting, I believe, as a webinar attendee. Brian Kennedy for the applicant from the law firm of Forcelli, Deegan, Toronto, with offices at 333 Earl Ovington Boulevard, Suite 1010, Uniondale, New York.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated February 17, 2022. Environmental control memo dated February 2nd, 2022. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. We have what I believe to be a site plan. It's pretty hazy. Gregory Gallas, undated. Tax map acting as an area map. Second tax map acting as an area map, and
And a few photos.
2 photos. Okay. What would you like to tell us about the application?
The applicant is before this board this evening seeking relief for proposed signage at the subject location. All requested relief relates to said signage. The applicant has made a significant investment at the former Flaming Grill and Buffet site and is finalizing renovations to open high-quality sushi and hibachi restaurant known as Izumi. The applicant owns successful Izumi locations in Comac, Holbrook, and Levittown, and is seeking to bring a fourth site to West Babylon. The requested variances are for increases in the signage height and the square foot of the proposed sign. The subject premises is set back over 600 feet from Montauk Highway and approximately 600 feet from Beechwood Drive. Therefore, the applicant is requesting these variances to increase the site's visibility to potential customers. The proposed signs are comparable to other signs within the shopping center and will fit the character of the shopping center. As noted in the planning department's memo on this application, the actual lettering of the proposed signage is approximately 143 square feet. Now, I provided 2 exhibits to Ms. Cavalli this morning, and I'd ask that they be displayed for the board or ensure that the board has had an opportunity to see both exhibits.
It was in the board's correspondence. Did everybody receive that?
Yes.
Okay. So the first photograph that I provided shows a daylight photo of the signage applicant Levittown location. Well, this is not the exact signage proposed at this site. It is very similar to what is before this board this evening. The planning board's memorandum properly characterizes the sign as an architectural feature. And as you'll see, the lettering on that sign represents a small portion of the larger sign. Now, I've provided the second photograph, which shows that same sign at night to show the board the illuminating lights on this proposed sign. The proposed sign will be comprised of individual channel letters illuminated by 60-watt LED lighting behind each letter. Now, on that exhibit provided to the board, there's lighting along, there's vertical lighting and lighting around the border of that sign. Those will not exist at this West Babylon site. The applicant's plan does call for a small horizontal LED light above the sign, comparable to the blue light in the photo provided to the board. However, the applicant is willing to modify or remove that lighting if requested to do so by this board. The requested variances will not cause an undesirable change in the character of the neighborhood, nor be a detriment to nearby properties. The site is located within a larger shopping center and set back significantly from all roadways. Many of the existing tenants within the shopping center maintain signage that is comparable to what is requested by the applicant. And the property directly next door to the applicants received similar relief from this board in a prior application. The benefits sought by the applicant cannot be achieved by any other method. Permitting the requested signage will increase visibility and allow the applicant to operate another thriving Izumi location. Further, the requested variances are not substantial, nor will they have any adverse impact on the physical or environmental conditions in the neighborhood. The benefits of the applicant strongly outweigh any detriment to the surrounding neighborhood. With that, I would respectfully request that this board grant the aforementioned relief.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Ms. McCullough.
Okay, so unfortunately, the scanned photographs are in black and white, so I cannot.
I'm sorry,
You wanna
Sharnice,
share
I can
them?
screen share if you like.
Okay, perfect.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Can the board just confirm that they can see that?
Yep.
Yes, we can. Yep.
And give me 1 second, I can share the other one as well.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I just speak to that second photo for a second? I'm sorry.
Sure, that's fine. Go ahead.
I just wanted to point out, while it was up on the screen, that those horizontal red lights along the sides of the sign will not be present on ours. And see those green lights? Those will not be present at this subject site. So it will
So
be,
you will have the top light up there, the blue light?
we're requesting the lighting for the lettering along that border and what appears as that blue light on that, and that's
Okay.
it. That bordering, that red light around the border of the larger rectangle, we are
Mhm.
not.
Okay. So, but it will illuminate red, is that correct?
The lettering, the
The
letters,
lettering,
yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. And what are the hours of operation?
The hours of operation, I believe he opens at 11 o'clock, and I'd have to confirm the closing time for you, but I can provide that to the board. I don't want to speak inaccurately.
Absolutely, I would like that information when you get a chance.
But-
And so when will the lights turn on? Is it timed? What's going on with that?
They will be, yes. They will be light sensitive. They will be turned on when the sun goes down, and they will be turned off when business closes.
So it's automatic, it's not a manual?
I'd have to confirm with the applicant. Understanding is that they will have sensors that will shut off when the restaurant closes.
Okay. So can you just give me the property that most closely mirrors this? Because I would love to just drive by and see how bright.
The other ends of Azumi,
Yes,
he
the
has.
one that we're most closely mirroring.
It would be that Levittown location.
Levittown?
Yes,
We're in Levittown.
I can provide that address shortly.
It's 2931 Hempstead Turnpike.
Wow,
Thank you.
you're good.
You've eaten there?
No, but it looks pretty good. I also found the hours for both Levittown and Comac. They're both the same. During the week, they close at 9:45, and Friday and Saturday they close at 10:45.
Okay, and so lights will go out at that point. That's not too bad. All right, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board?
Nope.
Katie, we have anybody?
We have nobody registered for this application.
Okay. So we're going to close the hearing. We're going to
Sorry,
reserve. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just for the board to know that in the correspondence, in addition to the correspondence from Mr. Kennedy, including the illustrations, there is an email from a neighbor, Mr. Pagona. We don't have his address, but he is asserting his concerns about the application. So that's item number 1 in the board's course. I'm sorry, that's item number 2 in the board's correspondence.
Okay.
Okay. So we'll add that to the record.
Correct.
Okay. I'm going to close the hearing, reserve decision. We'll keep the record open for 1 week in case there are any further comments. Thanks for coming in tonight.
Thank you, and I apologize about that mix-up earlier on.
It's not a problem. We did some stuff from last week while you were waiting. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Have a good evening.
You too.
So with that, Mr. Chairman, I believe we are on to the last page of the agenda, which is page 15, which will go over your correspondence as item number 1 was a letter regarding the neighbor's concerns on the pending application of Marie Cardoza. That remains reserved. Item number 2 was the email from Mr. Pagona regarding this application that we just heard. Item number 3 was the request to adjourn the application of Antonio Santos. Item number 4 was a request to adjourn the application of Jennifer Mayroni. And item number 5 was the correspondence from Mr. Kennedy with the similar signs for the Izumi property. With that, if the board is ready to move on We would ask the board accept the minutes from January 27th.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to accept the minutes of January 27th, 2022.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. For the board's review are the minutes from February 10th. Thank you, Doreen. If the board is prepared to accept the findings of ZBA 21-105, this was for Simply the Best Auto Collision.
Mr. Chairman, I make the motion to accept the findings of the ZBA 21-105 of Simply the Best Auto Collision.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And for the board's perusal are findings for Edna McPherson. The board will recall that was the new construction in Deer Park. So these are findings for your review.
Okay.
The remainder of the correspondence remains reserved. That concludes your agenda tonight.
Isn't there somebody waiting in the room for we're supposed to speak to?
It doesn't, it says one, but there's nobody there when I look at the
Okay.
attendees list.
Okay.
No problem.
And the chats were taken care of.
Okay.
So would someone like to make a motion to adjourn? I'll be still.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to adjourn this meeting.